welcome everyone. We have today Mr. Djordje. So his name can be pronounced in too many ways. So for anyone who doesn't know, Djordje is the simplest way to pronounce it. So just to introduce him, we call him the BIM Don for the entire GCC region. Like
Thank you.
I have not encountered anyone who knows more about BIM and architecture than him as of now. So I'll just let him introduce a little bit about him.
Hi guys. Djordje, I'm currently the general manager of Architectural Corner Consulting Office in Dubai. I've been here for quite some time. We can talk about it later, right?
Correct.
And it's all because of Archicad.
Yes. So as we know that you started Archicad in Middle East. So your journey with Archicad started back in your hometown and then you shifted to Middle East some 20-25 years ago.
Yes.
So tell us something more about that.
Actually, Archicad came here the first time when one of the founders of Graphisoft, Mr. Gabor Boyan, came for a visit.
Okay.
And that was very long time ago in the 80s.
Okay.
In fact, in 1999, when we had the first roadshow here, I worked as the technical services manager for the regional distributor. Very nice, very kind Sikh gentleman approached us and asked us, could we update his plot maker?
Okay.
We were a bit shocked because he was not on any client list, and we checked. He had plot maker that was linked to the CNC machine
Okay.
that was doing his wooden engravings, and the CNC link software was written by Gabor Boyan himself.
Okay. Oh, that's
So
Nice,
Archicad
something.
is in the Middle East for quite some time, but somehow until that 99, I had a feeling that nobody took it really serious.
people were still drawn to handsheet and sketches at that point of time.
Yes. And also, don't forget that until 95, Archicad was only on Macintosh.
Correct.
So most of the users here were Macintosh users. A lot of architectural offices did use Macintosh computers. Our biggest client at the time, with some 20 plus licenses, did use Macs almost
Yeah.
exclusively.
So at that point of time, 20 was a great number.
Yes.
That's some brief history which was not known by anyone. Good to know about that. So moving on, a brief history about Architecture Corner and how you joined Architecture Corner.
I moved to Architectural Corner from another company owned by the same people, where I used to be a design manager for about 10 years previously. Architectural Corner is also interesting because it was established in 1974.
Yes.
For Dubai, it's a rather long time.
Very long time.
Everybody who sees the license is like, is this a typing mistake? No. So we have a habit of flying under the radar. We don't do this, but we do this.
Yes, correct.
We go horizontally.
Horizontally. Okay, so we know that Dubai being a very competitive market, and for the architecture industry, we see tall buildings everywhere. So what is something which sets Architecture Corner apart from other architectural design consultants over here?
As I said, we are in a bit of a niche. We mostly do industrial and logistics objects on one hand, and on the other hand, high-end villas.
Correct.
Here and there, a commercial object, a small building or something, multi-story or something like that. But the bulk of the business is logistics, industrial, and villas. We did the Indian Pavilion for Expo.
Correct.
We did.
That was one of the major highlights for the entire expo, if I'm correct.
Yes, if you're from India, definitely.
Correct.
Definitely.
As an Indian.
Yes, and if you're Hindi, we also did the Hindi temple in Jebel Ali. It was our design and our.
Correct. I see many people going there for prayers and pujas. I also. Okay, continuing. So before Archicad was, when was it you who got Archicad in the Architecture Corner, or was it practiced before you joined Architecture Corner?
No, it was me.
Okay.
It was me. In fact, it was because we worked together. It was there from the beginning of the current management of the ownership of Architectural Corner. In the beginning, it was mostly used as a modeling and visualization tool. A bit of quantities, not so much for the production.
Okay.
Later, we developed those skills also. So now, most of the production drawings, submission sets, BIM models for Dubai municipality submissions, etc., are produced in Archicad.
So how has been that transition been? I mean, convincing everyone in the office that you can do everything with one software only. So how was it difficult convincing everyone, or was it easy?
It's not about the software. You know how they say BIM is people, process, technology.
Okay.
Never mind process and technology, it can be anything.
Correct.
If you don't handle the people properly, nothing is going to happen, and people don't like the change.
Exactly.
There was one German gentleman that lived a long time in Dubai, also an Archicad fan, who always said that some other softwares were and are a little more popular because you don't enjoy using them.
Correct.
And in general, people believe that the medicine doesn't work if it's not bitter. But with
Sweet medicine doesn't work.
With Archicad, it's just the opposite. You are eating cake and you're losing weight.
Correct. So now coming to a different software, Plannerly. So what made you decide on going and getting Plannerly for you? Because what we have heard about Plannerly is that it is for someone who is taking care of the entire project cycle, someone who is the owner. And how does Plannerly fit with your organization?
Let me get back to what the software is for.
Okay.
Right. My largest project in Archicad that I did it as a service. I didn't do the design. Was building for Al Ghanim in Kuwait. Most complex, probably.
Okay.
One of the craziest projects I did was a hotel in Seychelles, in the shape of a pirate ship.
Okay.
One of the largest by square meters projects was one of the logistics centers in Dubai South.
Oh, the current one.
One of them.
Okay.
There are a few.
Okay.
At the same time, I used Archicad to design a smoke shack for my uncle. Right? That was whole of 2 square meters.
Correct.
So project size doesn't matter.
Okay.
Right?
The work does.
The work does, and persuading people.
Coming on to the next question. So how long have you been using Plannerly?
We went back to Archicad instead of Plannerly, my mistake. Project size doesn't matter again. So I know Clive from also
Archicad,
one of his previous lives, right? So I know about Plannerly since it was started, even when it was called something else that they don't like mentioning now, right?
But still, they have the roots there.
Yeah, and I was always a big fan because I saw what they are doing. They are also making things easy.
Correct.
Because what people normally forget is that, let's say, driving in Dubai. I just met a friend today who restored the 1963 Volkswagen Beetle. Beautiful car. And he drives it only on weekends.
Okay.
Why? Because you cannot drive a car like that in this traffic, right?
Traffic, correct.
So why should you suffer?
Correct. Absolutely correct.
Writing a BIM execution plan or BIM implementation plan from scratch is like, I don't know, trying to reinvent the wheel or rediscover fire. Why? It's like as if you wanted to rewrite the whole of FIDIC, for example. It is there to be quoted. So it allows you to concentrate on what, not how or why. What?
I guess that's the same for Archicad also. It lets you focus on design and let the software take part of anything else.
Any good software. There is a BIM guru in Dubai. Regretfully, he doesn't use Archicad, but his way of thinking, he's all the time talking about BIM pencil.
Okay.
Software should be invisible. You should not be thinking, oh, where do I click? How do I click? What do I? No, that doesn't exist.
That's happening most of the times with today. What is
yes? Don't think how are you going to do something, because while you're thinking how you should do it, you're not thinking what are you doing.
Right.
You're not designing. You are
restricting yourself
operating the software, right?
Exactly.
Let's go back to driving. Are you thinking when you're indicating? No. Are you thinking when you're turning?
Nothing.
Or if you're driving a manual car, are you thinking when you're shifting gears? No, you're not. Because you are driving, that's operating the car. So operating the software is one thing. You should not suffer while operating the software. You should enjoy it. It should be as invisible as possible.
So what I know about you, I seem that you just enjoy working on Archicad as same as you're driving a car.
Yes.
Easy.
Well, after, you see, Murtaza, after 30 years of using it, it would be quite incredible if that were not so, right?
Right. So going on to the next question. So let's take the example of the Amazon warehouse. So how it is a big industrial project. So how did Archicad play a role there? Because you see there was MEP, structural, architecture getting involved. So how did you manage that?
Before that, there was a process of design and the process of the design approval with the client.
Okay.
So you should let's not talk about model that is issued for construction, because there were a few months before that, right? So it was a project that was done for Dubai South as a master developer. They had a concept design that was done by a very well-known local consulting company, very active in that area and elsewhere. And we then developed that concept design into something. And during the development, of course, the client will change something, add something, remove something.
That is something which we cannot.
So we had about a month of design meetings once a week, where the design was fleshed out.
Okay.
Was detailed. During those meetings, I didn't have Archicad with me, but I had BIMX with me.
Correct.
And we were walking through the building using BIMX, looking at the drawings, looking at the building, discussing what can be done, what cannot be done, what should be done, what should not be done, whether this is more expensive or whether this is cheaper. And of course, I was making the notes and sending the BCFs to the team. By the time we got back to the office, if there was one or two people in the office to take care of that, we could probably in an hour or two send the updated model back to the client.
On the same date, sir?
On the same day, yes.
So that's a big achievement.
What's the point otherwise, right? And I have to say that some other people that were working on projects with the same team after us were calling me and saying, why did you show them that software? They want us to do the same.
So it's kind of implementing the same day.
Yes, they were quite happy with BIMX.
So it's not only your client. I feel majority of the people working on Archicad are very happy with what BIMAC does. Simply just have an iPad, just have the drawing in it, and you can do the construction also.
Yeah. The guys who are on the site are big believers in BIMX.
Correct.
In fact, there is one site engineer that is always calling me, boss, is there a new version of the model? I said, no, what you have. Don't forget to send me. Okay,
Correct.
don't worry, I'll send
So
you.
it's good for him also because he is having the updated drawing all the time. He doesn't have to worry about RFI, submittals or anything. Everything at any point of time.
That all has to be done because process is like that, right? But he has the information in his mobile at any time. Let's say they work, they get a permit, they're late to something and they have to work longer hours, right? He doesn't have to call me at 9 o'clock in the evening. He can open the model and see it.
Okay. So again, those are some of the same questions only. So what now coming back to Plannerly, any challenges you have faced with Plannerly or is it working seamlessly?
Frankly speaking, we didn't implement it fully and completely because we didn't have the need to yet, right? We used it mostly to create and manage the contractual BIM-related documentation. And in that sense, it literally saved us. What I was talking to Clive on Big Five, because we were able to produce the required documentation literally within 2 days.
So I have seen many companies just sending out BEPs and BIM execution plans, 150 pages long, and at times they only don't know what is mentioned over there. So how Plannerly saves? Like, is it that long or does it have a summary of it?
Like we discussed before, maybe I'm a surviving dinosaur, or maybe that's because of that. But I still prefer the graphical term virtual building to BIM, because when you say virtual building, it is clear what it is, right? Talking about something and thinking about something cognitively is the same thing. What you speak is what you think.
Correct.
Right? So BIM can be understood by many people in many ways. And while, let's say, 4 of us are around the table and we talk about BIM, I'll bet you another coffee that each 4 of us has a different understanding of the term.
Correct.
Because, as you said, there is a lot of documentation. The moment I see LOD 500 mentioned, I know that it was copy-paste from the Abu Dhabi airport 10 years ago, for example. You know, producing something without understanding what is inside is more dangerous than not producing it.
Correct. Absolutely correct. So coming on workflows. So what kind of workflow does Architecture Corner? So let's say we have a villa project. So how, where and when, what kind of workflow do you follow with the software involved?
We start with Archicad from the beginning for the architectural and MEP and basic structural modeling. Structural design is done in the usual suspects that are being used here. ETABS, etc. ETAB safe, STAD, Procon in some cases. Connectivity is, let's say, limited from both sides. Especially coming back from the structural packages, we did have issues with that. But worst case scenario, you pull a 2D drawing under your model and you check it.
That's the best thing to do
in the standard way, right? Worst case scenario. So we are not keeping the form for the form's sake. We are trying to be efficient and to do the things in the best way possible for the situation that we are in.
Okay. So now moving a little bit from design and architecture right now. Let's talk about the business, what it is there. So what is the ROI you see today when with Plannerly and Archicad combined?
Frankly, I didn't check.
Okay.
And the reason is the consulting fees here are very low. So that is one of the reasons why I was upset with the change of the licensing system of Graphisoft. Not your fault, of course.
Correct.
And increasing the pricing because we cannot increase our pricing.
Okay.
But definitely any software, Archicad leading there, and Plannerly also, that gives us capability to do 5 things in a day instead of one thing, is giving us the edge.
So instead of working on 3 or 4 different softwares, you're working on one software and
Working
saving
on
time.
Working on one software. Right now, when you came to start this recording, I had 3 Archicads open with 3 different projects on my computer.
Okay.
Right. One of those was BIM Cloud SAS project. That has another 6 people from different continents logged in. So efficiency.
Efficiency, correct.
My computer doesn't agree because it's dying every day. What can we do?
Yeah. Okay. So from the client side, each and every client must be seeing BIMX and everything. So what are their views and what sets you apart from them than different practices?
Software doesn't play a very big role with the client. BIMX, yes, because some of our clients are really hooked on it.
Okay.
Last week I sent a set of approved drawings to a client. It's a small modification in Jebel Ali, free zone. And they called me immediately and said, "Where's the model? Why are you sending me this model?" I said, "I sent you the model already." No. Model with this. I said, "Okay, fine. I'll send
So
it."
clients are having BIMX.
Yeah. Clients prefer human touch. They prefer professional attitude, and they want you to tell them the truth.
Correct. So, like you have been practicing and connected with Archicad for 30 years, what is one advice you would give for anyone who's new or struggling with BIM, or typically what would be your advice today?
My advice:
as I said earlier, you are the BIM Don, a virtual building Don.
Find out what you want to do. Find out the tools that work best for you. Don't look around.
Correct. Okay. So how can we will have a great audience for this video? So how can they get in touch with you? So if they want to work with you, or
I'm on LinkedIn.
okay. So we will surely attach it with the description.
I'm on LinkedIn.
Okay. Now I just have 2 questions left.
Yes.
Very critical.
Yes.
So we hear it all the time, ISO 19650. So how has the adaptation of ISO 19650 been in regards to UAE? In regards to UAE, well, I mean, taking UAE as a concern and the architectural practices over here, are they adapting to ISO 19650, or they are still following their own set of guidelines and principles?
ISO 9650 is the overall BIM standard for the world.
Correct.
So as much as the Dubai, the only 2 regulations that I'm aware of regarding BIM are the Abu Dhabi and the Dubai building regulations regarding BIM. I'm not aware of any others. Maybe okay. Some other municipalities also implementing it. I don't know. So as long as they are in line with the 19650, I believe that it is being followed.
Okay. So what about the practices, leaving apart the municipalities and the authorities? I mean, you are in more touch with the other consultants than we are. So how are they doing it? So they are doing it as their own kind of practice, or they still follow ISO
You
196?
see, by the book, BIM requirements should be a part of ER, employers' requirements,
Correct.
in tender, in anything. It depends on the employer's team. It is up to the employer's team to specify those BIM requirements according to the world standards and according to the reasonable level of involvement and achievement. For example, requiring BIM LOD 500 without having the DFM team involved just creates additional work without any use.
Correct.
For example, so it would be good if what I said about BIM as BIM, right? I'm an architectural engineer, right? So I learned this process on top of my profession, right? There are people who are not in the construction business by their own basic profession,
Correct.
who started working in BIM, but they are on the standard level. They don't understand the implications of the implementation
Correct.
on the consulting part.
So we see too many
the-
freshers are saying BIM,
or
BIM,
the
BIM.
construction part, right? The fact that you finished BIM master doesn't mean that you understand. You see, any education in this world just gives you a license to start learning that job.
Correct.
So when you graduate as an architect, let's say, that only gives you the license to.
That only allows that AR in front of my name.
Yes, but you have a license to be thankful to somebody who takes you in and starts to teach you
Correct.
the job.
So the main teaching happens after you graduate.
In our profession, in other professions, let's say medical professions, when you graduate, are you allowed to practice?
No.
No. Why?
Correct.
Because the subject is huge, right?
Correct.
So you need a couple of more years of
Practice.
learning. Same thing with BIM. It's omnipotent. It's too much. It's becoming too much. It is maybe. In fact, I know another person who you should speak with about that, but she left back for New Zealand, so I don't know if she's available.
We can surely get in touch again. We can surely get in touch with her again.
She could talk to you about that.
Okay. So with this, I guess you answered the actual scenario of BIM in UAE also. So one observation which I had a few months back, that when you started this Dubai South project, you were having a requirement of submitting your IFC models with the DM for the approvals. So how was that?
No. For those projects, no.
Okay.
For the DAP project, because
Okay.
as you might not be aware, there are many approving authorities in Dubai. So for every of the free zones, there is a different approving authority. It's not always Dubai municipality.
Okay.
Only Dubai municipality has a requirement for the
IFC model.
for the BIM approval based on the submitted IFC model. For the Dubai South project, we were doing it for ourselves and for the construction.
Okay.
So documentation first, getting the client's approval on the design development in cooperation with the client, getting the relevant authority, DSCC approvals and building permits, full coordination, issued for construction models, issued for construction drawings, detailing, steel coordination, MEP coordination, firefighting coordination. All that was done through the BIM models.
Okay.
Right?
So we see engineers, architects talking everywhere, that we practice BIM. What is the uh, actual scenario, and how practical is it for everyone who is saying that we are practicing BIM, like on LinkedIn or everywhere you go, all the consultants, all the design consultants, they say we are on BIM. But what is the actual scenario out here? That are they really on BIM, or they are just using the tools to just look at the 3D and do the plans in a different environment?
That depends on every office, right? I cannot say anything for any other office. It would not be fair, right? Even if I knew, it would not be fair. I don't know, literally. But considering that the larger projects require that are under Dubai municipality jurisdiction require BIM approval, and that it's a process that is probably done in parallel with the model building for the construction documentation or approval documentation. The companies who do that actually have to have those capabilities, right? There is no okay. If you don't have those capabilities, then you find somebody who does, and he does it for you, right? So it's very simple. But again, it is a matter of whether you're using BIM tools, whatever BIM tools you use. If you're a steel detailer, you're not going to use Archicad, right?
Correct.
You're going to use Tekla or something in that range. If you're just writing the specification, you are going to use Plannerly, right?
Planner.
But you should understand what does the technology give you as the advantage. Once upon a time in year 2000, right, we were just drawing the section line and opening the section, and the audience was going, wow.
That was like magic.
They didn't have to draw the section or the elevation, right?
Correct.
For example, but we are way past that. Right?
Way
past that. So I would say that everybody should, as I said before, going with the flow, just doing it because it's required, is not the right way to do anything in life because it's required, right? Do things because they make your life better. Use Archicad because it's fun to use, right?
Yes, exactly.
Enjoy. I mean, if the work can be enjoyable, and why not? Right? I enjoy using Archicad. I mean, you would think that after 30 years I would be bored, but I'm not.
So sharing my experience, it's been 5 years I've been using Archicad. But if a day goes by where I have not opened Archicad and done something, I still feel that my day has not ended. So that's the extent what I use Archicad to. And with Graphisoft coming up, they try to make Archicad fun. Do you know that they have some games also inside?
Yeah.
Yes, they have Tetris.
Yes, I know.
They have
Tetris is in the curtain wall too.
Correct.
Did you find out how to turn on the machine gun sights in 3D window?
No. So as I said, I have too much to learn from.
You should look on the community Easter eggs. Every version has an Easter egg.
Okay, I'll surely look for.
There's a for example monster truck in one of the versions now.
So it's hidden in some of the objects which you do something. It's hidden
in an object or in a setting or in wherever.
Or the other place. Correct.
Once upon a time, there used to be a special menu that you could switch on using the registry editor in Windows.
Okay.
That had some options that were not available in the commercial version.
Okay.
Etc.
Something new. Okay, so it's been great talking to you, and
thank you.
We keep on talking a lot about BIM, Archicad, anything which is there. So I hope the audience learns from you and they surely contact you. One small last message for all architects?
Whatever you use enjoy using it.
Great. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.